My favorite game from the prelims before the quarterfinal begins, the round 11, was the game between Alireza Firouzja and Magnus Carlsen. Well, to qualify for the quarterfinals, Alireza had to win this game, and to prevent elimination, even Magnus had to win this game. So it was somewhat a virtual knockout where the loser goes home and has a dream shattered of winning the tournament. So what happens here? Alireza has a good chance to beat Magnus, who has looked a bit off form. He lost to black pieces against Yu Yang Yi and Yang Christoph Duda, and especially against Yu Yang Yi, he had a very good winning position, and losing that wouldn't have served world champion that well. So what's gonna happen? Alireza has white. He has to strike big here. What happens? Knight f3, d5, g3, g6, c4, the ready opening gives the pawn. Knight a3, trying to recover the pawn. The pawn on c4 ain't going anywhere except in the white's kitty. Knight c6, d3, and this position here arises from the English opening, as we saw of the game between Duda and Dingliren, and this is somewhat King's Indian opening, but this position can arise from the English opening. Not a surprise, as I said. And now h4, so Firouzja is pressing on the king side, started his pawn storm on the king side. Let's see where it goes. h6 stops the pawn storm. Bishop c3, putting this bishop on this diagonal. Very good strategy. f6 just giving more protection to this pawn. It was attacked thrice and it is defended thrice, and also this pawn defense, so no major piece attacking this. Bishop g2, bishop e6, castles, rook c1, a5, queen a4. Probably b3 would have been a better move, with the ideas of playing a4 and fixing the pawn structure here. Could have been playable. Queen d7, and if knight takes, then b6 just wins the piece, no question about it. Rook fd1, placing the queen in front of, placing the rook in front of the queen. Rook fd8, a3, and now playing b6, defending the pawn. It wasn't, basically it was a poisoned pawn, just losing the pawn for the piece. e3, stopping these knight d4 ideas that would have been unpleasant, but also knight d4 wouldn't have been possible because this bishop would have been looking here. Maybe in future he would have moved his rook here or rook here, and then this idea could have been very annoying. So it would have been better to just shut this idea now only, not waiting for the moment to come. Rook ab8, queen c2, a4, knight e1. Possibly is trying to bring this knight towards here and here, try to exchange this good knight and telling him good night without k, and the bishop would recapture and the position would be better for white in that case. Nevertheless, we are too far away from that. b5, striking this knight, and this knight has to find good square. Knight d2, bishop g4, attacking the rook. f3 wouldn't be better because the e3 pawn would be loose, or bishop h3 might come, and then this queen coming in. You might see if f3 is played, then the king side looks very vulnerable, and without this light square bishop, things would be very shaky indeed. Knight df3, bishop comes to f6 or e6, and queen b1. Well, the idea is to play knight c2, and but the problem is bishop b3 comes and attacks the rook, and things get very uncomfortable here. And when I was looking this game at the first time, I didn't see the score sheet initially, but when I saw the position, I quickly realized that he would play bishop b3, and which he did. That was incredible. Knight c2 defends the rook, queen e6, knight d2, bishop d5, knight e4, f5 attacking the knight, knight c5, queen tucks back, the queen was hit, e4, the exchanges, and now bishop a2. Now queen has to go to an ugly square on a1 where queen serves absolutely no function at all, the, and it is somewhat forced to go to this ugly square and make this ugly queen a1 move, and the queen isn't serving really well here. It's a sad move to make, but you have to make it. Bishop c4, knight e3 attacking the bishop, knight d4, bishop takes, e takes, and now knight takes c4, eliminating that good bishop of black. That was very important because that bishop was really hassling this queen, and it would have been very unpleasant for white in the long run with this queen stuck at the corner and also biting down this pawn. In my opinion, the queens must control as many squares as it can, but here in this position the queen is controlling only 2 squares. That's the sad story. Nevertheless, b takes c4, bishop h3, rook d6, and now queen a2. The queen has to come back and is forced to choose this square, and now you can see that this queen is looking really good to come out here and to take this pawn, and all the tension that white has in this position would be flustered out, or should say clustered out. But here in this position, Carlsen took maximum advantage of this position, of the poor position of this queen, and comes out with an incredible move here. So take a pause and think what Carlsen played here. I give you time. Let's go. So the move that Carlsen played, which unsettled the young prodigy, was rook b3. Incredible move. What does it do? It is an exchange sacrifice, but what's the compensation? The poor position of this queen is a huge compensation in this position, and rook takes c4 doesn't help because this pawn defends this rook, and there's already a tension to play rook here, or maybe this rook swinging here and putting more pressure here. It's like white is playing this game without a queen. Such is the power of this rook b3 move. Black sacrifices the exchange, and with the compensation of shutting this queen here. What a fantastic move. Knight takes a4. The best he could have done is to just take this with the knight, but he didn't. And now this rook looks even more powerful here, because now rook takes c4 is not possible because of queen takes, and now this rook is absolutely like a monster on b3. And taking advantage of this, Carlsen just presses forward d3. The extraordinary move again is pushing his passed pawn as far down as he can. At knight c5, I don't like this move. Possibly he could have stopped this pawn and things would have been better. Bishop d4, incredible move. No time to take because of queen takes f2 threat is imminent, and everything would fall then. Knight takes b3, he allows this, king h1, queen takes g3, and everything is falling here. He's not resigning at the moment. He thinks that rook d2 might help him, but actually it cannot. Queen takes h3 check, loses the bishop, The threat was to play queen takes h3 checkmate, and it was incredible. He took the rook and allowed that sacrifice, which I was analyzing. And when I saw the score sheet, he did play that move, and it is all going well. Anyway, the game isn't over yet. Rook h2 blocks the check only move. Queen f3 check. Rook g2 only move. C takes b3. Queen takes b3 check. King g7. Queen d1. So he eventually was able to bring his queen into the game, but it was too late. Queen takes e4. Queen e1. Queen takes e1 check. Rook takes e1. Knight f5. Black has two pieces for the rook and a dangerous passed pawn on b3. Black is winning hands down. But let's see the bitter end of the game for Alireza. h5. Bishop e3. H takes g6. d2 pushing his passed pawn. Rook d1 stopping promotion. And the best move he could have played was to play h5 and h4 to create this counter attack. This pawn isn't going anywhere. In fact, this white pawn, is the best defender for black in this position. Bishop g5 was played. Rook f2. King takes pawn. a4. Rook d4. a5. And after rook a4, this pawn is covered. Alireza resigns the game. Wow, that was a beautiful game. Incredible game. And with this loss, Alireza Firouzja is knocked out, and Magnus Carlsen survives and lives for another day in the quarterfinals. I have the standings in my hand. Hikaru Nakamura is the sole leader with 7.5 points. Sergei Karyakin is at second place with 7 points. And there are 4 players: Yu Yangyi, Wesley So, Magnus Carlsen, Ding Liren with 6 points each. Danny Dubov just makes it through with 5.5 points. And Levon Aronian, the last man, who tips off Alexander Grishu with 5.5 points each, but probably had more number of wins than him, and by the virtue of that he qualifies through. And we have the pairings as well. Hikaru will face Levon Aronian, that would be first quarterfinal. Magnus Carlsen will play against Wesley So in the second quarterfinal. Yu Yangyi will face his Chinese compatriot Ding Liren in the third quarterfinal. And in the fourth quarterfinal, we will have Daniil Dubov facing against his Russian compatriot Sergei Karyakin. So I will be bringing all of these games. Tomorrow is the rest day, and I'll also be taking rest as I have to bring more games that would be coming day after tomorrow. I hope you like my analysis. I hope you like my video. All the best to all participants. Have a safe day. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Take care. Bye. And yeah, see you later.